In today's video, I'm going to talk about the importance of having your eyes and body behind the baseball before you hit it. Again, I want to talk about the importance of having your body and eyes behind the baseball before you actually make your move to hit it. And I want to tell you why. So the reason that I say this is because it's been coming up with my remote hitters and also in person. I just got done wrapping up sessions. I had college hitter and 3 high schoolers today, and just found myself consistently, especially in our tee work and build up work and our routine, movement pattern work, really talking about the importance of having ourselves behind the baseball and eyes behind the baseball before we hit through it. Because what you'll see, and this may resonate with you, if you're having trouble hitting a lot of low pull side ball flight or having trouble like running out of barrel, that is because when you go to make your move, you're either going to the ball and you're pushing up the zone, which leads to your barrel path being steep down and then here. And then once we get here with our chest squared open, we're across the ball instead of being in a place. And I'm going to do this from the side angle because it shows you how much maximum adjustability you have when this is your mission, especially when you're focused on hitting through the inside half of the baseball, which I've made in another video about, which is probably my most popular video at this point. But like, let's just talk about why this matters, because what this does, regardless of setup, so you can see like I'm in my normal position. Okay, so this pitch is off the low tee away and up and in. And regardless, my thought process is the same, is to be in here and get behind the baseball. And then it's like behind, now my body's on plane, and now my hands have a clear path to just drive through the inside seam. I'm not going to demonstrate that. I could right now. I'm just up against the cage. The same thing here. Up and in pitch is now the most important part is, and I've made another video about this, we're prepared to cover this pitch first because it's really, really hard, especially if it's a fastball. If we're looking more down and then we have to come up out of the ground, really hard to make that ground up. What we have to do is be prepared for this up elevated pitch and adjust downwards so that then our swing can condense. But if we have to expand things, we get sloppy, we get draggy, barrel gets out from around us, and then we're across, and a lot of pull side hook, ball flight into the side of the cage, hard hook slice ball flight. And yeah, you may be moving fast, but the ball flight's going to be bad. That's going to lead to you zapping your power potential and slugging less than you're capable of, because you're just not in a position where you're behind the ball. What you'll also notice, especially when you factor in being behind the baseball and attacking the inside half of the baseball, and I'm going to talk about the other part of this as well, because this is almost like a 2-part video, 2 in 1. But in order to simplify, if I'm thinking get behind the ball, it's just I'm instantly making a move to set my body up on plane, and then from there it's just through the baseball for as long as I can. But the other part about this that I would like to talk about is the fact and the importance of being able to hit through the inside half of the baseball. Because by no means am I saying stay inside the baseball and catch it deep and steer it the opposite way. I'm talking about all contact points, and I'll move these tees out so that you can stay with me here. Right, all contact points, I'm trying to drive through the inside half of the baseball. And I'm going to tell you why, because if I'm in a position where I'm in the box, right, and we'll say this is off the tee, and regardless of which one of these are, I'm trying to get behind the ball because I've already, in my mind, I'm focused on getting through it. So now if I'm behind it and through it, I have maximum adjustability. I'm on plane. As soon as I start my swing, I'm not creating barrel depth behind me, which leads to length against velocity. I've shortened this move up. I've trimmed the fat out of the back, and now I can stay long through the ball and almost feel like my barrel's like in contact with the ball and following the ball out through, regardless of pitch location, because now I haven't committed, and I can still just now from here. And if you've ever done this at home, or you go do this after watching this video and you find yourself focusing on actually getting behind and having your eyes and head behind and body behind the ball for once, you'll realize how your swing will then kind of just like slingshot forward through it, because you set yourself up to be behind it instead of fighting against yourself, working up and then across it. That's when we find ourselves in trouble. But when the minutes that you find yourself behind the ball, then you can just hit through it. And the importance of being able to go from here and just be behind the ball, and then it's like, right, the ball jumps, one, but then the bigger thing that I want to talk about is the importance of having narrow focus. And when you're focused on hitting through the inside half of the baseball, you set yourself up to win against every pitch that you see, even if it's what you're not expecting. So let me explain. I'll say this as a lefty, right? So if I'm focused on driving through this, for righties, it would be this side half of the ball. If I'm focused on hitting through this, regardless of pitch location, regardless of off the tee, front toss, angle work, open angle, closed angle, machine, double barrel machine, coach BP, or game. If I'm focused on driving through this and I rep it out enough to where it becomes muscle memory and becomes like it's thoughtless, if the ball moves on me where I'm not expecting it, so say that's my goal and I get a sinker, well, I'm going to stay on that, and now I'm going to adjust onto that, and I'm going to take my line drive oppo. If it's a cutter, because I'm focused on being so narrow and specific instead of just trying to hit the ball, that leads to moves being sloppy out, around, and across. Because I'm really focused on driving through the inside half of the ball with the right contact points, now when I get something that I'm not expecting, I can make that move where you see guys like they'll tuck the hands and really work tight to their body, and then it's wham through, and that's when you get backspin pull side, and that's what you get, what you're looking for. But you don't do it if you don't go narrow enough for the focus, because now if you get a pitch that you're not looking for and it breaks down and in on you, because you're focused on getting there, it's like, oh, let me get to the inside half, and it's like, wham, and you find yourself in that money position where barrel's in line with the shoulders. And I'll turn the plate so that you can see this, because I'm just trying to demonstrate both angles to give people adjustability. But say I'm looking for a fastball up here, and then I realize I've given myself enough time, I pick it up, and I'm focused on driving to the inside half. Now it's like, guess what I'm going to do with that? My barrel's in plane with the shoulders, barrel's in line with the shoulders. Now from here, my hands can hit through, and I'm going to hit this ball, and it's going to take off with true ball flight, the ball flight that we want, not hooked and across. What you'll also notice is when you do this, you give yourself way more room for success. And the only time that you will realize that you're not doing it, your swing will feel very across, your miss will feel across. And that's something that I want you guys to pay attention to as I continue to make these videos. Like and subscribe, by the way, and I really appreciate all the support, but I just want to continue to talk through this, right? You'll notice that the ones where you really don't have a chance to win are going to be out and around the ball and then across the ball, right? Even if we catch a ball a tick deep, because we're trying to get here, we may win opposite field. Now it's just a matter of pushing out contact point. And if I push out contact point and I make the same move, I win. Because instead of catching that ball back here and maybe getting a slice double oppo, if I really am direct to this thing and behind it, now I can work to that and through that and be in a place to win, because I've focused on making my most efficient move. Really focus on being specific on a part of the ball that's ultimately going to lead me to increasing my visual acuity, tracking the ball as it's on the way into me instead of just locating it and then just swinging at a spot. Now I'm much more locked in. I have to see the ball better, and I also stay through the ball better because I'm focused on seeing it better. You can't hit what you can't see, and all of these things ultimately lead up to you being able to hit in games with maximum adjustability, maximum room for success, and the ability to create the ball flight that you want without having to do more, all because, again, just a reminder of this video, you're focused on getting yourself behind the ball. If we're behind the baseball, we can hit through the baseball. If we're moving up on the baseball, we're going to get out here, swing's going to get draggy, or we're going to be super flat and then across. Not a lot of room for success there, right? If you're going to the ball, or even if you're standing where you started at in your swing and you find yourself hitting balls like this, if you ever see your video, that's why I always tell people to video from behind, especially the players that I'm working with and stuff. Like, I'm always looking to evaluate video from behind, because if I see your chest like this and the barrel's in line with the shoulders or under the shoulders, that means you're going to work across the ball. And that's really the reason a lot of people miss low pull side. That's why their ball flight is bad, because they have committed this way, and then from there the barrel's going to go that way, and wherever the barrel goes, the ball is going to follow. I know I made a video on that. But if we can find ourselves behind the baseball, we can win a lot. You're going to notice how much you're going to win a lot, especially if you pair this with putting a really good directional focus on hitting through the inside half of the baseball. Right, you're going to win. And it doesn't matter if the ball's back here. You could almost hit it out of the catcher's glove, but you're behind and it's like through. Any pitch that you see, if you're behind it and then through it, you're going to win a lot. So just really focus on that, attack that. If you want my help, you want to work together, I obviously be happy to help you find and solve the problems that are in your swing specifically, right? Because that's what this is about. Different people need different things. Today I had to tell a hitter, finish with one hand, because his top hand was cutting everything off. You know, somebody else I'm having to say, stay behind the baseball and just find yourself back here, because they want to go forward. Every hitter's going to be different. Hitters that miss under, I'm making them do upshoot machine and having them feel like they're swinging down and finding the middle ground. Every hitter needs different things. That's my job, is to have a deep enough toolkit, a deep enough knowledge bag that's simple enough to help solve everybody's problems. So understand that I'm saying things that show up in these lessons and in my communication with players at every level of the game and passing them on as they're happening in real time, as I'm having to communicate them remotely and keep them very simple in a way that people can hear them through the phone or in a video like this where I'm demonstrating the change and giving cues that they can go out and attack and win within game. And that's the whole goal of everything that I'm doing, is to help you hit in game with more effortless success and elite simplicity that leads to you being able to get in there every single time and just have one thought, right? Because the next best thing besides no thoughts is one thought. So if I can be in here just focused on, and I hit off the machine and off the tee this week, literally, and I was going, get behind the ball, get behind the ball, get behind the ball. Because I've put in all the work and my setup's right, now I can just be reactive and just, if I'm behind the ball, I know I'm going to hit through it. So maybe that's the piece that unlocks your next level and unlocks your backspin and unlocks better ball flight to all fields, is consistently finding yourself behind every pitch that you swing at, whether it's tee work, front toss, arm, game, machine, coach, whatever. That's going to help you be consistent and simple. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video.